Hey guys, I just want to do a video today on thrush. Thrush is a bacterial infection of the foot, or a fungal infection of the foot, and what it does, it deteriorates the condition of the frog, or eats away at the frog. And I've just noticed on this horse's foot here, we have a large area here which has all been eaten away, and it's now looks very rotten. The frog's sort of function is compromised. You know, this should be a nice area of mass here, which would provide a lot of grip, along with a part of the pump or the hydrostatic function of the foot to actually pump the blood around the foot, allow the foot to mechanically function correctly. And this bacterial infection that's in here is eating all this away. So I've trimmed the frog away, I've cut off a lot of this loose horn, exposed all this area. Thrush likes to live in an anaerobic environment, so if you can cut it away, expose it to the air, try and dry it out because it likes a lot of moisture as well. You can dry it out and then treat it. Thrush this bad, you want to be treating on a daily basis. But also, you know, you want to be picking your feet out regular. You want to be applying any sort of thrush treatment, any hoof solutions that you can, especially if you start noticing this sort of black necrotic tissue in there. And it also gives off this very distinctive foul smell. So it's very easy to identify, and it's relatively straightforward enough to treat, as long as you clean the feet. Make sure you're having good stable management, you know, keeping that bedding nice and dry, nice and clean. And picking those feet out on a daily basis will definitely help. So I'm going to shoe this horse now, and then at the end we're going to go over how I as a farrier can treat that every shoeing cycle, and then I'll also recommend how I think the owner of the horse should treat it on a daily basis going forward. So I'm going to crack on. Okay guys, so I've just trimmed this foot, just taken the shoes off, give it a good clean out, trimmed it up, but I just want to show you the frog on this hind foot as well. So again, this is slightly worse than the front one. This is a bit more sort of overall frog condition. You see all this black necrotic tissue, necrotic muck all the way down here. I've cleaned a lot of it out with a wire brush. There's a lot of that stuff in there. It's right deep in these clefts. We've got a split forming all the way back up here. We have all these little crevices, all these little cracks in the frog, and they're all areas where the bacteria will get in, and it'll start to multiply, and it'll start to eat away at all this soft horn. So I'm gonna trim as much of this out as possible, and then we'll treat it at the end. So we fitted our shoe, we've clenched her up, so now we're just going to treat this area. But what I want to do first is give it a good clean up, and then we're going to apply some copper sulfate crystals, or copper sulfate granules with some Vaseline, and just really smear that on, make a paste out of it and smear that all over this frog. So to start with, we're going to use some water mixed with Hippie Scrub, which is a sort of antibacterial solution. We're just going to wash the feet first. So you want to use a brush that has relatively stiff bristles. You want it to be able to get down deep into the clefts of the frog to give it a good clean out. So this brush will do the job. So let's have a look. So we're now just giving it a good scrub out, trying to clean out as much of the thrush as we possibly can. All that black necrotic material. Good clean all these back here, clean where the actual cleft of the frog is migrated all the way up here. So that's the copper sulfate crystals, and we're going to make a paste using a bit of Vaseline from a little pot that we've got here. So we'll take a little bit of Vaseline. Oh, a bit too much. Okay, so we've mixed in the Vaseline with the copper sulfate, and we've kind of made a little sort of paste that I'm going to now rub into that frog and push it in as deep as possible. So if we go over to the foot. I'm just going to push that in now, really push it into these cleft. Look at that muck that's just come out now because we've done it. Really push that in. Okay, and hopefully that'll stay in as long as we possibly can. And then we're going to use a Kevin Bacon Hoof solution on a daily basis to just make sure we're sort of staying on top of that bacterial infection. Okay. So we're just going to clean this hind one that was also quite bad. And manage to trim away as much as possible. And the actual frog is not too bad underneath here. There's a few little cracks still in here that I want to make sure I get this this paste really deep into, especially the center sulci here that she's actually flinching on as I open her up with my thumb, and there's a lot of muck in there. So I'll try and get my brush in nice and deep to try and clean that out. Give that a good scrub. See the improvement of the frog just on giving it a clean with the heavy scrub and the water. You can see all that black muck that was deep in here where she's sensitive, in all these little areas here, which would be the ideal sort of environment for this bacteria to live. So they're relatively clean now, so I'm just drying off the excess of that fluid, that heavy scrub wash, just to show you how much cleaner that is. Now we're going to put in this paste. So I'm really pushing that into all these little cracks and crevices as deep as we possibly can. It's really going in there well, so that's good. And get it in all these little areas. If you do this on a sort of weekly basis, and then the rest of the time you're just painting on a hoof solution, as I've recommended a few times, that Kevin Bacon hoof solution. But as a one-off, this is good to get this in real deep. So I'm pretty happy with that now. So that's in all them nice little grooves. It'll pack in, that'll stay in as long as it possibly can. I get a lot of muck on the top of that now, but at least I know that this is in there, packed in there well. So good job. So we've used an antiseptic wash to wash it out, and then we've used this copper sulfate, which is a very powerful, or as it says on the pot, it's a powerful disinfectant powder, with the added benefit of using the antiseptic solution and the Vaseline to really moisturize it, really get it in deep into those clefts. Thrush is a anaerobic bacterial infection of the frog or of the foot, and it's normally found in the medial and lateral clefts and also the central sulci of the frog, and it really does live in a sort of damp, moist, anaerobic environment. So the feet being on the floor, packed in with mud or bedding is a perfect environment for it to survive. And it will eat away at the horn. And it uses the frog. It chooses the frog because it is the softer horn of the entire hoof, and it will eat away at the insensitive frog, and it will expose the sensitive frog, which is actually very that's where all the nerves are within the frog area, and the horse will be very sensitive to it if exposed. So thanks for watching. This is another video in my how-to series. So I am going to be making more videos of this style, how to address different problems with your horse's feet. Do check out my anatomy series if you've got an interest in any of the deep anatomy or what's inside the actual hoof capsule. And if you want to check out my Farrier vlog, my weekly Farrier vlog, check out the playlist here, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you again.